Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday, which means it's another day to try to get canceled. Whee! Why do I hear myself a second time? What is going on here?
The voices
I
in
think
your
This
it's
head.
only for
the
you.
voices,
Voices.
the
In
You
voices.
have
every
become the
good
voices.
council.
Are they saying cancel? Cancel.
They're saying something, bro. I have no idea what's going on right now. Is it? Well, I have the Discord preview muted. What is this? It's not. I did have the stream open, but oh wait. Okay.
It could be
Edge.
Discord.
Stupid Microsoft Edge, bro. All right. Anyways, hey guys. How are y'all doing? It's another week where we talk about things to share our opinions, and some people don't like those opinions, but it's okay. Um all right. Well, it's been a great week actually so far, believe it or not, for me. I've been enjoying life and seeing memes and enjoying that kind of stuff. So it's been really fun. We have obviously our guest and our two co-hosts of Drop Gears. So we'll do actual proper introductions this time since we haven't done it in a while. Lime, how are
Mm,
you? It has been a while.
yeah,
She's
fuck my
back.
job, actually. It's they I don't know how would they manage to put work on Thursday, every fucking Thursday. And they didn't this week, so I'm happy.
Hmm.
Yeah. We're doing well. We're doing happy. I listened to the podcast last week after work, and yeah, I think I agree with almost everything that was said. But well, it's my time to get cancelled, probably. I don't know. Let's see. Let's find out.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you were there last week, it would have probably been even more crazy. 'Cause-
Could
I
have
mean,
been.
yeah, sometimes I have like really harsh opinions, and people will say that it could be actually kind of ignorant in certain topics, but whatever. It's an opinion, it won't hurt anyone.
yeah, I mean, yeah. We all have our opinions, right? So
Yeah, you can
I
just
think
shut
I
down
think
the
it would have been
stream and
fun more
goodbye,
than
and you
anything else.
never listen to me.
It would have just added to the chaos more than anything.
I mean, I
Shorty.
think last week was
Oh yeah.
great, but I'm happy to have Lime back.
Yeah, I'm happy to have Line back. She is definitely a part of the team here. Shorty. How are you? How was Cup of the Day for you since it was your favorite style that we've had for the third time somehow in the last like 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I made myself a point to get better at ice again. So every single time, the last like 2 months or so, every single time we had an ice map, I practice it for like 2 hours afterwards. And I've been getting the fun again in Device, so
Wow.
that's great. I beat AT, then went out. So I'm happy with that. So yeah,
Ooh.
Ice is it's decent. It's decent.
Hashtag humble brag for myself. I got Div 1 in the free Cup of
Oh
the Day,
yeah,
the full speed thing. So there's a clip of me freaking out when I got the thing. I apparently turned into a monkey. Um, yeah.
I got 66, man. I lost by 20. Anyway, yeah,
Unlucky.
yeah. I
Well,
mean, I
get
also had a
better.
lot of fun this week. I'm basically a full-time mapper right now. I don't know. I'm building like 9 maps this week.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's fun
Are
though.
you ready for map
Is one of them
review?
for me?
Uh, yeah, map review is gonna be interesting, but I think it should be fine. Not all of them are for track of the day, like only 2 of them, and the rest is for things I can't say. Some of them at least, others I probably could say, but I don't know if I can, so whatever.
Yeah, fair. And then we have our new guest, our special guest today, the hero of NA, the defender of NA's hopes and dreams, the prodigal son to redeem NA and tell us that we were all stupid with our opinions. The only player in NA that exists to defend his own region by himself because it's only him in the region. Uh,
Oh no. I
it's
mean, when you have
randomized.
Neil in my region, you kind of are NA's last hope.
Well, okay, all right, right, okay. How are you doing, my guy? Good afternoon,
Afternoon.
lunchtime.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 2 p.m. Eastern time right now for me, so had to skip work to be here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't care. I hate my job, so.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, if you guys
I
are like,
wish
"Hey,
Hey,
come
I
on,
was
come back on
super
the
one of
podcast," I'll
us.
be like,
One of us. One of us.
The
Yeah,
trick is to
so,
just
you know.
not have any job at all.
Ah.
Yeah, right.
Ah.
Man, I wish. Yeah, my boss watching. My boss actually knows I'm here. I told him straight out. I straight out told him, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna be here because I'm gonna be on a podcast." He goes, "Okay, cool, have fun." I'm like, "Thanks."
Bet.
Well, that doesn't sound that bad then.
It's not that bad until
No.
you realize that the reason why he's cool with me not being there is because that means he doesn't have to pay me. So
Mm.
a win-win for him, I guess. But yeah, no, I'm randomized. I'm, just I play video games, and people apparently keep pulling me into more and more tournaments to help them with, and
Mm.
I guess that's what happens when you've ran an org for 4 years and then hosted a bunch of tournaments. And people are like, "Oh, you know what you're doing?" And I'm like, "Sure, I guess." I mean, I click buttons and things happen.
I wish people would say that to me. I run tournaments and they're like, "Import, you have no idea what you're talking about." And I'm like,
Cancel! Exclamation point! Cancel! Yeah, what is a kilometer?
What is a kilometer? It's
What the
No.
fuck is like?
okay.
But no,
Actually,
he's so good.
it's funny that you bring this up. I'm taking this 100% seriously too. I was thinking about this during work today. I was like, how would I describe a foot to a meter, or how would I describe a kilometer to a mile? And then I realized I've actually forgotten most of my American units and have almost fully converted to the metric system. But when it comes to liquids, I'm still on the American side.
Oh no!
So I'm just losing my mind over here. But yeah, no, it's super cool that you're here. Obviously, we'll have a lot of things to talk about: your tournament experience, obviously your history in esports in general, and just as a gamer. We've all done our stories, so obviously we want you to do the same thing. If you find it's unimportant or something that seems like whatever, people might not be interested, trust me, people are interested. And also, we want to cover a couple things first beforehand. Ascension is happening this week. Big tournament in Montpellier. If you weren't aware of it already, with their massive
I mean,
prize
to
pool
be
that they
fair,
have.
I wasn't aware until like 2 days ago that it's this weekend already.
I wasn't
Yeah,
aware until about
I
30 minutes ago.
I kind of forgot that it was happening this weekend until I saw a bunch of people saying, "Hey, I'm on my way to Montpellier," or like, "Oh no, it was forever." He was like, "My flight was canceled." I was like, "Your flight was canceled? Where are you going?" And I was like, "Oh, that's right, that's this weekend."
Yeah.
And even some one of our Evo people are going, although not under Evo. It's Nitro Faint. He's going as a part of TM News and everything. So he lucky freaking loser that he gets to go, but yeah, he gets to go for get paid to go over there, I believe. So
Wait, he
that's
gets
pretty
Wow,
paid
cool
for
for
that's a
him.
this?
dream.
Yeah,
That
he's
is actually cool.
pretty sure he's getting paid for it. So yeah,
Nitro, you're getting paid. He was in the chat, I believe.
he was. Maybe he'll cancel me and say no, Import, your information is wrong. But and that's where all the budget is going towards instead of TM awards, really, man.
I think he just has press credentials and lives near Montpellier anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Dude, I
So,
wanted to go to the Trackmania World Championship
The
as
World
a
Cup? Yeah.
photographer. Yeah, the World Cup, and I got rejected.
I actually also reached
As
out.
press?
What?
You mean as press or as official photographer for
No, I
World
wanted
Cup?
to take pictures for Nadeo, but
Oh,
I
okay.
got told that one of the sponsors it's gonna employ a photographer. So I was like, oh, okay, that's.
I reached out to World Cup and said, "Hey, do y'all need a host?" And they were like, "We got it. We got it covered, bro. Thanks though." And I was like, "Ouch."
Yeah, that's
I mean,
so real.
are they gonna have
They're gonna
a
have
host?
casters. They're gonna have. I don't think they're gonna have a host. I think they're gonna have 2 casters, which I know who they are, but
I mean,
not allowed to tell. But I think
I have
everybody
one
can
guess,
kind of figure.
but
I think everybody can kind of figure out who it's gonna be. But yeah, my French
kind
isn't
of.
good enough for World Cup, so that's why they didn't want me. But yeah, no, that's Ascension's happening this weekend. World Cup's happening. As an American, it's super painful that World Cup is happening literally over Thanksgiving weekend. That is the biggest pain ever because like even if I wanted or had the opportunity to go do something for World Cup, I wouldn't be able to because I will be spending time with my family in the freaking Alps. So yeah, Thanksgiving more important than
Before we
That-
find a reason to cancel you even more, it's World
Mhm.
Championship. If SRK shows up, he will he will ping you every second you say World Cup.
nah.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, man. Like I did some of the watch party / casting for World Championship middle stage, and I dropped it once after everyone else said World Cup 100 times, and they basically like SRK is like, next person to say World Cup, I'm gonna fine you, and I'm like,
I mean, no. I mean, SRK doesn't really watch this
no,
podcast, but
he's not gonna do that. But either
he's
way,
not gonna do that.
honestly, I'm not gonna lie. During when he started freaking out, I really want to. I wish I had like a little globe in my house because I want to get a globe and put a cup under it and just stick it on top and just leave it in my camera, just to kind of put it in his face. But I don't have a mini globe, so I couldn't do
Yeah.
it.
Turbo has one. Turbo has
I
a
mean,
mini globe, the
oh,
spinning one.
I'm slow brain. I'm catching up now. Yeah, I'm sure he's really stressed about the events. So yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense why he would be like that. But yeah, um, I it should be okay events. It's kind of, I'm not gonna lie. After the whole like circuit that they did this year, it is a little bit lackluster. Well, I think we talked about this in a previous episode, like I want to say a couple months ago, where we all agreed that it was kind of a little bit. Oh no, it was before they hadn't even announced if they were going to have a final. This was at the point where they were like, "We're not sure if we're going to have a land final," and we're like, "This is
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
insane."
the last time we talked about it. It's
I
been
was
quite a
actually
while.
reading about it because I was doing the comparison to the GeoGuessr World Cup and Trackmania World Cup, and they said like, "Oh, in early August, we're gonna let you know if we're gonna have like audience or if it's gonna be on land or anything." They literally said nothing.
Yeah, and then they said nothing, and then they were like, "Yeah, we're going to have a land event, but only for 8 teams." And I
It-
was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I
So
mean, better
you
than
know,
nothing.
it's
At least it's
Yeah.
LAN, but
Yeah.
yeah.
that is what pissed me off, and
And again, in Montpellier, bro. Can all the events not be in Montpellier this year? There was like at least like 18. It feels like 18 like
Yeah.
major esports events there. Like chill.
maybe it's cheap and everyone can get it there, or I don't
That's in the Riviera region of France. I don't think that's
In the
cheap.
I mean, maybe
Riviera?
they just have a contact through the
The Ri-
radar to get
Oh,
it
yeah,
cheaper, but
true.
I don't know. Even if they do, I mean, I don't really mind. At least it's LAN, but it would be nice to, grow also with the locations and not always have the same location.
Isn't it
the
literally
Raiders
at a
do.
Zero Tour location, the World Cup? Or World Championship?
I'm not sure, but I think it's the same company or something like that.
Yeah, it's the same company.
The World Cup for Trackmania is in a studio. So
Yes, it's not this.
yeah.
It's like it's not in one of those locations, but it's the same company that provides the location. I don't know, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm sure Nadeo slid into Zerator's DMs like, please help us. For that one.
Maybe. I mean, why not? I
I
don't
don't
care
think
how
they
they
say
do it,
please help
as long as
us
it's.
because they don't ask for help to anyone, but they probably said we want your contact.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, that
I
that
mean, the
stuff's
price
happening.
will grow. I mean, it's obviously. I mean, we talked a little bit before the podcast, and we kind of compared the radar with World Cup, but I mean, to be fair, 25,000 is I don't know, what was it last time? Was it 15,000 or something like that last
I'm
year?
sorry to say this, but it's nothing.
Yeah,
It's
but at
nothing.
least they are growing, like
Yeah, you know
like
why
you can say
I'm
what you
so
want, but you have
pissed,
to
and I'm
Trackmania is still small, and for
no, no,
Nadeo,
no, no.
at least they are stepping it up.
This is why I wrote a few days ago that I wanted to talk about the GeoGuessr Championship, because literally GeoGuessr is a game that has been out for like, I don't know, 10 years and has been known for the last 5 years or something, and they already had a 50,000
Yeah, but
prize
aren't they
pool.
way bigger than Trackmania? With how
No, I
I
don't
don't know,
think
like how many
I don't
people
think
play
they're
that?
bigger than Trackmania. Like
I'd say
player
GeoGuessr is.
base.
I think they have a bigger player base than
I mean,
Trackmania.
player
I
base.
guess that.
I
GeoGuessr
would
definitely
actually
has.
probably be on Lime's side of this. like a lot of people are aware of it, a lot of people know of it thanks to the content creators. Same thing with Trackmania. But when it comes to people actually playing it, I feel like a lot of people just hop on, play it once or twice, and then never
I
play
mean,
again.
you
And
can
then they have like a
literally
small player
go
base.
to the stream site on Twitch and you
Yeah,
check out GeoGuessr and you see how much people are playing it, and it's like
not
they
that many.
way less than us. And they
Yeah, but
already had
I
a
mean, the
world
fan base is
championship
more
with
important than the player base, right? For
50,000
prize
prize
pool
pool.
and sponsors.
And yeah, they got sponsors, and they got a studio, and they got audience, and they fly out people from all over the world to play this World Cup. And we got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, compared to other games, it's always been like that, though. So just
Yeah, but that's
at
why
least.
I wanted to make the comparison and why I want to rant about this, because the GeoGuessr for me is a niche game. It's a really like niche
True.
game. You know,
Website
Trackmania is
game.
a bit
It
bigger.
is. Yeah, true.
Like we're losing to a web browser game, man.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
what
we
I
uses
already
mean. We are
lost
Google
to mobile
Maps.
losing.
games.
Oh
We are
god, I
losing
just thought
to
about
the
that.
browser game.
Oh no.
A web
I
browser game
wish,
that uses another company's images.
dude. It's.
True.
I mean, on one side, it's the most silly game ever in the earth, but that game is making things way better than Trackmania for the past 10 years. And it's really hurtful to see, like, I mean, I'm not trying to minimize GeoGuessr and what they do and everything,
I don't
but
think
they
you
are so
are.
tiny. And we are like, okay, Trackmania, it's just that we can be like them, you know. Trackmania could do things like that. And I don't know why they choose
I
not to do
agree.
it, but it's like, you know, it hurts. You know.
I agree. We could
I-
I think everybody understands that Trackmania could be more and it should be more. And going back to last week, without trying to go too much into last week, but like going back into last week, I mean, Hunted, when he made his tweet, it wasn't the fact that the main message of what Hunted was saying wasn't wrong. It's like, and like Nadeo shows a very massive lack of investing into its esports. And that's not just in one region, that's in the entire facet of esports that
Yes.
Nadeo could potentially have. But outside of that, it's like it's an issue that people have been complaining about since the beginning of time with Nadeo about like their dedication to esports. And unfortunately, it just starts from the top where it is clear that the top execs of Nadeo just simply think they know better than the community. They feel like the game is more important than esports, which esports is insanely important to get people to your game. It is esports is not just a competition, but is also a marketing aspect and asset to your game, literally. And you see a lot of companies do it correctly, and you see a lot of companies do it wrong, or you see companies do it correctly at the beginning and then do it wrong later on. But yeah,
CS2.
I mean,
Rainbow Six.
Rocket League. I mean, they had a really great esport, and then they just like destroyed it. Like, it's kind
I
of
mean,
insane. Overwatch, they had a really great idea coming in with esports and everything, and people were super hyped about it,
Oh,
and
don't
then
get
they
me started on
ruined it.
Overwatch. Don't get me
I
started
think
on
Nadeo
Overwatch.
also
Yeah,
has been
That's
pretty
the
decent
beginning.
at advertisement 10 years ago. I mean, 15 years ago. But it's been some time.
Yeah. I think we all can agree that like what Trackmania is outside of the game, but the esports parts of Trackmania is super underdeveloped on all facets. Yes, Europe is larger. Yes, Europe has a bit stronger scene and is more developed than the other regions. That's obvious because kind of that's what the main market was for the longest time. And because so many people in Europe have been more ingrained into Trackmania, they're more willing to step out and do things like run events, lands, online, etc., do crazy things and try to get things started. While the smaller regions, because it's still relatively fresh to some of the smaller regions, I mean, it takes time. Like it took this amount of time, what, 14 years for Europe to finally start doing its own thing and just realize, hey, we could probably just do our own thing and do it better. then
I mean, there used to be things with that already back then, but it just kind of died during the years, and with the new game, it kind of got revived to some degree again.
I mean, it's
And
also
everything
because of all the
started to grow.
titles, though, right? Like how many tons of titles that Trackmania has gone through as well.
Do you think
So
that it's a pro to have so many titles of one game?
no,
Because
I don't
I
think
think
so.
that is one of the reasons why you divide the fan base and you cannot really build something and grow with it.
I think one of the issues Nadeo always had with the new games is that for some reason they always managed, like for example from Nations Forever to TM2, so many players complained that the card didn't feel the same way as before, and that was one of the very big issues. That were like, yeah, you know, all the new features, they are kind of cool, but the card just doesn't feel the same anymore, and I want the card to feel the same. And even though they always claimed they did not change the physics or anything like that, if it doesn't feel the same, it doesn't matter if it technically is the same. If it didn't feel the same, that was like the main issue they had. Like converting people from TM2 to TM 2020 was way easier because the card just kind of feels the same as in TM2, and obviously the amounts of features are just so much greater than TM2 to some degree. So yeah, I think it doesn't
that
like
was quick.
that in its
Good
that
job,
in itself
Chris.
isn't really a big issue. Like having multiple titles of the same game, I think that's fine. You just have to do it in a good way.
Yeah, Chris was sorry. While you were talking, the little spam message came in, and then Chris just like smacked him down immediately before any of us could get to it.
I couldn't even finish
I
reading
can
the
read
message
it.
before it got dings.
Yep.
Ah, okay, it's one of those spam. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just a
but
typical one.
yeah, I definitely think like having multiple titles has hurt, and I agree with the TM2 to TM 2020. It was definitely easier to transfer. That's what drew me to TM 2020 because I did not like Turbo. Like Turbo
I
was
mean,
not a fun game for me.
Turbo.
It
Oh
was
my
okay,
god!
but
If we talk about that, Turbo was such a stupid idea.
like Turbo, I feel
I'm-
like almost killed Nadeo like in their franchise. Like
yeah, but
it's
because
just that bad.
like it's so stupid. They be like, yeah, we're gonna make a new game, but we're gonna not update that one, but continue to update the old one. What?
Right.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
okay. I
Okay,
have
Chris.
to get involved
Okay,
here.
Chris.
Give me
no.
like 2 minutes.
The Nadeo apologist.
No,
Chris is like,
not an
let's talk.
apologist, but one, Turbo was not Nadeo's idea. Ubisoft
I
wanted that
know.
game on console.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Two,
matter.
Turbo was, in my opinion, the most fleshed out Trackmania game there has been, front to back. Like everything just fit in a coherent package.
I can agree with this.
I totally agree with that, but doesn't matter
And
to what I said.
yes, I agree with you, Shorty. Hylas,
Okay.
let's just say the higher ups at Nadeo completely dropped the ball on not pushing for Turbo to be the definitive Trackmania experience.
Yeah, I didn't want to get into the details because I thought it would be too sad to say, but yeah. I mean, if you spell it out, it's even worse because like Turbo was such a great concept, you know, and it's so infuriating that Turbo is with the concept of the game the best one from the Trackmania series, kind of. And it's the one that Nadeo didn't even want to do themselves because they got forced to do that. And then they did it. People liked Turbo, and instead of going with Turbo and making what now Team 2020 basically is, could have already been in Turbo. And instead of doing that, they just continued to like update the old one, and Team Turbo just got like left how it was.
Okay. But I mean, yeah, cool. Focusing on the future though and Team 2020, Nadeo really has something with Trackmania 2020.
There is no future.
But
so pessimistic.
I mean, there could be a future if they would just stop doing whatever they're trying to do with these like other projects and waste time and money that they've wasted $400,000.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully
more.
they do that.
Ooh,
But like if they would just focus on the game and listen to the community instead of shutting themselves off, which is a whole nother topic. We're not going to get into that.
no, we have talked about that
I mean, we
shit so
kinda
many
talked
times.
about it at
We've
least
talked
once
about it
already,
so
for sure.
much, at least.
I mean,
how
hell,
they've
I've
shut
even put a
themselves.
video up about this whole thing. Like I had a video that I put out that was more about the monetization aspect of it, and I got a lot of people feedback on me, and I figured it was going to happen because one of the things that I mentioned was about microtransactions. That the last with the update, and you guys you talked about it last week. with the new update about the club version, how it's
Right.
gonna be $20 and the other one's gonna be
Yeah.
free, but it's barely. And then, like, literally, I summed it all up based off one line, which basically they were saying, "Hey, we missed the market, and now we're going to try to capitalize on it." And then that's when my video spawned, because I read that one line, it made me angry. Random Rants came out, and I basically was saying, like, listen, it's not that you missed your market. You've been missing your market since the game came out. The fact that, Trackmania
Mhm.
2020 has so much compatibility with community driven stuff. Like, a lot of people thought I was insane for saying microtransactions. They were like, "That's not how to build a company. Companies don't run off microtransactions." I was like, "Okay, first of all, shut it. You have like 5 subscribers on YouTube, and they're all your other accounts.
Oh,
So, like,
no.
obviously, you don't know what you're talking about." And the reality about it is that yes, microtransactions actually, excuse me, microtransactions do help companies out a lot. It's almost like there's a game where like little kids do dances from it. It's almost like a dude that had blue hair made a lot of money from it because he even had his own
Mhm.
microtransactions in it,
Yep.
and an entire studio has been killing it, even though they're killing their other games. Sadly, Rocket League, please come back.
And that's actually sad.
Like, I'm even wearing a Rocket League shirt when you said that. I was like, but like, yes, I understand microtransactions aren't like the number one answer, but they are a really good like foundation that allows them to
100%.
constantly make money as long as they're constantly pumping out some good stuff. And that was one of my big things. Like, look how there's a website that is microtransactions. It's TM
Mhm.
skins, and it's promoted in the game. Like, people have to go off their game to go to a website to buy a cool skin for $5 and then import it into their game. And then I'm being told that microtransactions are the dumbest thing ever. That's not how you're going to make money. Do you know how much money they could have made from that?
They could have
And
made so much money.
it's
It's
dude, it's
insane.
insane. And what's even
Really,
funnier is
yeah.
like it would make more sense for esports orgs to be involved. But of course, the developers of Trackmania are like, well, we want it to be more like a friendly party game. Like, if you want it to be a friendly party game, go make Mario Kart
When has
fucking
Trackmania ever been a
100.
friendly party game?
That's what I've been.
What
That's the
the?
thing that annoys me, and that's what I've been hearing when
Wait,
I've like
so
when I have.
wait. Now, wait. It's
I
they
never
actually
heard
said
that
that.
though.
I've
So
never heard
I
that.
never heard
So
that.
I have been doing some digging, and I have been like, I have some connections within Nadeo. And basically from what, or like, I have connections with people like right outside their circle. And
Mm,
basically from what I understand, the reason why things like, for example, the matchmaking, like they said, we couldn't do it. It's because it's spaghetti code, like, not surprised. But
unsurprising.
two, I feel like they
Yeah.
didn't really care to do it because of the fact that from what I've been hearing, that they want it to be more of a game where you play with your friends. Like, that's why they want matchmaking to stay
Yeah,
three
that's
v
they
three.
openly
There's
said
more
that for
Speaking
friends,
Among
matchmaking.
Us, if
right?
you want to
So,
want
like,
to play
that's
with.
my point. Like, they openly said that, and that's apparently that's always been a thing, which is why the esport itself has never been a pure focus
The
until
esports
now. It's
itself is a
2v2.
different thing mostly, I think, because it's openly known that Hylas himself stated that he does not like people living off from his game. That's
Yeah,
one of the main reasons. Like, not, I mean, obviously the fact that they are like so community driven all
late.
of a sudden, but I feel like that's also only started with like Team 2020 with the
yeah.
matchmaking stuff.
He doesn't
I'm
like
not
people
not
living
sure if
off
that
of his game
was.
because he's not living off his game properly. He's not making the
Yeah,
money that he
maybe.
probably could, and that's what I'm saying. Like, just everyone make bank. Like, make
There's some
money, make
people
your
making
money. I
bank
want
off
you to
of
make
this
your
company.
money. I know,
Yeah,
and I
of
want them to
course.
make money, but it's just like,
Yeah.
in the end of the day, like, I feel like if the money grows, it's going to allow things like the esport itself to grow, and then we won't have a moment where we're questioning if we should become GeoGuessr pros and make more money. Like, I'm just saying.
No, you're 100% because like and this goes back to what I was saying at the very beginning. It's like the issues that stem within Nadeo and esports is literally from the top execs, and it's not just Hillis, it's also other individuals. And if I say their name, they're going to block me on Twitter. So I'm going to try to still, because I still have some, believe it or not, I still have some goodwill amongst the community. So I'm going to try to keep that for the most part, especially with Nadeo. But like, there's multiple top execs who literally just are in this weird fun party game idea, like you talked about. And I mean, I have heard something of that to that effect multiple times before, but never specifically from like proper sources. But I think everybody kind of understands that, like, Hillis and them, they just straight up don't care about the esports side. They want it to be whatever they think they know better because whatever reason, which it's shown time and time again that their decisions have been easily ridiculed, have failed multiple times. I mean, they lost a massive project, and you see in their financial report that they lost a massive project. I'm just going to keep on bringing that up because I think that's such a huge, insane thing to have lost a six-figure amount. Luckily, it could have been more. Who knows? Six-figure amount of money on a failed project. Who knows what else they're wasting money on? And I
At
mean,
least
I've
they're
gone to
definitely not
their
wasting money on Trackmania because they're not doing anything.
I've
Not
gone
really.
to their job website. You can Nadeo has a job page. You can see what positions they're hiring for, and still, I think to this day, they're still looking for a full-time script writer because they're wanting to make some type of storyline game project. And I'm just like, you guys are not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I agree, random. The microtransactions and against that is so dumb. They could have monetized not just car skins, car wheels, car parts, helmets,
The driver.
the driver. They could have done
Stickers on the
stadium
car.
skins, like because they could have done absolute.
Driver with wings. Just
Yeah,
like-
they could have added cool effects on like car trails or something. Like, there's so many
Skid
things
marks.
that could have skid
the-
marks.
Yes,
thing
skid
is, like,
marks though. When you it shows like sparks. Oh, that would be so pretty.
And do
Yeah.
you know what? I'll one
That's-
up you randomize so that people won't criticize you as much.
I'm fine. Come at me.
Nadeo literally could actually take away something from the community and make it a microtransaction, and I personally wouldn't be bad. So, like for example, if they took what was the idea I had? If they just took like driver skins, for example, or just regular car skins, and they just took that from the community and said, no, we're only going to customize them. Or we'll allow only certain verified individuals to customize them, and they'll be able to sell in their own mini shop or something. I'd be okay with that.
Something I said in my video too.
Yep.
I said that they should create partnered things. You know, they like from what I heard, they hire mappers to make the campaigns. They
Yeah.
pay them a little bit.
Yes,
Like
they
why
do.
can't you do that with people who make skins? Like literally, you can make a season pass. I had a friend that like called it the Mania Pass or something. Like it was
Yeah.
a really good idea. Like make a pass. People pay. Like that's what that $10-$20 a season should be. Not for a subscription because you're trying to make it a live
people
service.
will
But like
pay that,
Um,
and they will be like, fine, because I mean, one
Chris,
thing
sit
that
down.
happens with the battle pass and stuff is that you come with the game and you're like, oh, the game is free, and if I want, I can pay for
Yes.
things, you know,
Give them
and
the
people are
option.
more willing to pay for that comes free.
I mean, we
We have
kind of
League
are
of
doing
Legends.
that
You
with
know
the
how
current
much
model.
Take-
sub
you
model.
could
have
That's what
also-
Leo just said.
You could also take things from skid marks, right? We were just talking about that. You could take that away from the community and be like, hey, we're not going to allow skid mark plugins anymore, and then just monetize skid marks. Like I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, wow, they actually
I'd try
have
to
somebody.
unlock it.
I would try
paying
to
for
unlock
that.
it, or I'd pay for it, and I'd be like, wow, they
Yeah.
actually had a brain to actually put something onto the market that people will buy because skid marks are valuable because the original skid marks suck. Like, wow.
Oh, and then instead of oh god, don't never mind. I'm not gonna get into it. Random Rant's about to turn on. We only have so much time. It's not my podcast, not my show.
Oh, we got
Don't get me
plenty of
started.
time. We
no,
still
we
got an
gotta
hour
play
to
the
go.
game. Time.
You're gonna say that, and you're gonna
We
be like,
got
oh,
we got
God.
an hour still to go.
you want me to link something?
Uh-oh.
Are we gonna get in trouble? The answer it must be yes. So no,
Maybe.
don't
The
make-
silence agrees. You know?
Maybe.
You should have told us before we are live, so we could at least agree on it before you say
leak
it.
it to me in DMs, and I'll determine whether.
Let's
or not
just say that some of the ideas that just were discussed were being discussed internally.
I mean, I'm
I'll
not
leave it
surprised
at
that they were
that.
being
when
discussed. Of course, they were
recently
discussed.
or like years ago.
Yeah,
Like
that's the thing.
a year or two ago.
I
Yeah,
gotta make
right.
more videos. I gotta get them angrier. I
If
gotta
it's
start
one
ranting
year
more.
ago, then
Come on, guys, give me fuel. I'm
Bro,
gonna start ranting
honestly, if Nadeo would just listen to this podcast, I don't know how much financial advice I've given them to pull money out of the community, like and be cash grabbers like so easily without having to build a new game. Like there's so many things they could do to the game is not dead. Let's be clear here. Let's refocus. Trackmania is
Anything's
not
not
dead.
dead.
Trackmania is
beyond-
still growing.
more. Yeah, no,
For
it's
now.
going the other way.
for
Yeah,
now.
it's still growing. There's still scalability. So there's there's still time to change. But the second you hit that crest, bro, is gonna go downhill and ain't nothing more happening. So,
That's what happened with like Nations Forever and Trackmania 2, just going downhill and slowly but surely. Like it's not like Trackmania is never going. It's not the kind of game that just dies within like 1 or 2 weeks. It's always a game that people are gonna go back to. But if you just don't do anything, it's at some point it's just gonna be basically like it has been 5 years ago. Just less players per week, per week, per week, and at the end you just have like some core players that just do their own stuff but nothing else.
let me bring up a comment real quick from our chat here, Actifabula, because you always love saying some yuck things every once in a while. The little bro wants a microtransaction infested game instead of paying super cheap price for 3 years. Sure, but I'm also about the game and the company being successful. Whether the company is not about being successful, I'm about the game being successful, because if the company and the game is successful, that means more job opportunities, not just for the company itself, but those who are invested into the company, such as content creators, teams, organizations, etc., communities. Like that everybody benefits from that. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The problem is there was a lot of games out there that made a stink on what microtransactions are, right? Like there's a lot of people who abused it. Of course, it's going to be your typical
100%.
businessman.
Mobile games, especially. 100%.
Oh my god, yeah.
Diablo.
And that's so when yeah. So when people talk about microtransactions, it's an instant negative. People instantly
Right.
see a negative out of it. But like you have to think of it. Don't look at it as a personal thing of whether or not I want to pay this microtransaction. Don't look at it as it just yourself, right? Like take this as an educational moment to understand that the reason why we bring these things up is because just like everyone else out there that loves the game, we want to see the game thrive. And the only way it can thrive is if it has the money to put back into their employees, to grow the amount of employees they have, so that then they can put more into the game and even faster and even cleaner, so that we don't get spaghetti code stuff coming out. I mean, one of the things that confuses me is that I feel like Nadeo, when they made Trackmania 2020, was kind of like in the middle of, do we want this to be another one of those titles, another Trackmania 2 Stadium, blah, 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 blah? Or do we want it to be more of a live service game, which is what the campaigns are currently acting as, is a live service and the track of the day and stuff. But like, they're only they're half-assing the live service. And that's why we are sitting here talking about that things like microtransactions have to happen, because look at all the live service games out there. They all have it. And some of them are in much better moderations than others.
Right.
But like, that's how live services work, people. So don't get mad at us.
Let's look at the biggest example. I mean, I'm not going to mention CSGO because that's actually kind of out of hand kind of microtransactions, although it doesn't affect the core gameplay. But I would say League of Legends is a perfect one. Straight up skins. That's all. Literally, it's you core gameplay. Now you could pay microtransactions to get champions quicker, level up faster, whatever, cool, or have a chance to get more skins than what you would normally get. But like that's a
you can do that in Trackmania as well.
You can do that in Trackmania.
Medals, and if you just wait too bad to like unlock the rest of the campaign, you just have to pay for it.
Bro,
get the gold medal.
Yeah.
You want the gold medal? You can buy it.
You can even going off of this topic, you can legit buy a skin for the medals that you win, and then like have like a thing where you display those on your profile. Like, look at the custom medals I got. Dude, bro, we all literally could like transform this game into something.
All right, listen. This is the plan right now, right? The four of us, what we're gonna do after this show, we're gonna get into a meeting. We're gonna figure out how to do like a crowdfund. We're going to pay Beard to just literally make an entire brand new Trackmania, and we'll run it. And it'll be the Evomania, and it'll be the rivals. Maybe that'll wake Nadeo up. All right, guys, like plan. Let's go.
Did it happen the same thing that happened to Dota, but to League of Legends? You know?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Oh,
a game from a game. So
it's funny though, because we like in Evo, we've had this conversation also multiple times as well. And it's like there's things that's like, man, honestly, if some proper could we just crowdfund and like send an offer to Nadeo to buy the game, right? Because it's like sometimes you just like it gets to the point where it's like, bro, they clearly just like you're right. They have no they're confused on what they what they want to do with this game. It's also clear that they didn't expect this game to get the traction that they did of their previous titles, which is insane to me. You got a refreshed Trackmania 2 Stadium game, essentially, with slightly different mechanics, more surfaces, more things to do customization-wise. And then on top of that, you added live service and you give full access to those who want to make fully dedicated custom servers, and then you hide it behind 3-4 clicks of a UI. That's disgusting. And then you add multiple things like matchmaking, royal, fun stuff. Like, it's like, bro.
I mean, if you want to do that, I actually already kind of would know a company that we could contact. Like, I hate to bring it up, but do you remember when I was
the mobile
Hot
game?
Lab League? Yeah, the
Hot
mobile
Lab
game.
League.
Because I think that's still like one of the few games, or like probably the best game that had like the same kind of vibe that Trackmania has, with how
Yeah.
the maps are built, and they already like the you can see if you play the game that the maps are built blockwise like Trackmania maps, so they have like an internal map editor. But sadly, the game didn't take off enough, so they canceled. Like they don't continue developing it anymore. But it's basically like a Canyon version of Trackmania, but for mobile.
I think their issue
it's
for that
so
game.
sad.
I think that issue for that game, because I saw exactly like I saw the same thing what they were trying to do, and I was like, okay, this is cool. But
No.
Trackmania is not a mobile game. Trackmania is
Yeah.
barely a console game, like barely, if that. And
Yeah, no, I
I
agree.
think if you want a competitor to Trackmania, you need to do obviously the things that Trackmania does, but better. But then on top of that, gear it towards community feedback and actually listen to your community and not get butthurt when they say something's bad or sucks. Like,
I mean, to be fair, they never really wanted it to be a PC game, and they never really wanted it to be a competitor to Trackmania. It simply turned out to be like also kind
Then
of
what the fuck they
Trackmania-ish because they
wanted
like
to?
Trackmania. It was planned as
just a
a
mobile game.
just mobile game, just mobile. It
They
was
wanted
planned
the kids'
mobile
money.
only.
I don't
I
blame.
mean, I don't know, but I mean the pay system was also very very fair. Like it was, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like that's definitely a game I'm really sad about, and I'm always gonna remember it
It
as a
wasn't
game
bad.
that
I mean, I didn't like the
it's great
whole
fun.
auto gas thing, and you just press brake to like do turns. I thought that
I
was
mean,
kind
you
of
can
weird. But
disable it now, but it's the same as in Trackmania, kind of. Like you never have to release anyway, so might as well have it, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's not stadium physics anyway. It's canyon kind of physics ish to some degree. So, but if you imagine them doing a stadium version, you know, like they have the quality. Like the menu was amazing. The way they did the campaign was amazing. The campaign is basically like TM Turbo. They invited certain pro players, me for example, to like set custom medals there as well. It's I don't know. It's just it was a sad thing to see happen.
So, I mean,
So yeah, let's contact them with enough money. Easy.
surely. I mean, so like obviously, we could beat the horse until it's dead, but the horse has been dead for a month and it's starting to stink and rot. So I mean, but like I said, there are things that Trackmania can do, Nadeo can do to transfer. They can still make a bad situation, and it's not necessarily an entirely bad situation that we're currently in. It's not. It's just that the community wants more uh involvement and development, and it's not meeting the community demand, and the community is willing to take over that. And I think let's transfer over this into a perfect segue into kind of the next area. It's just kind of the things that we can look forward to in the Trackmania community as far as like things that are happening, because it's not like we've been sitting here twiddling our thumbs and just complaining. We've also been trying to make things happen from
Well,
Europe here.
I kind of just built maps.
I mean, that's fair.
And people hate me on Reddit for it. So
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, like Evo has been XP Evo. We built a LAN. We've had online tournaments. The community, and not just us, obviously. There's other communities in Europe that have also been doing it. Trackmania for hours. You got EMC. You got World Tech Tour. You got all these other events that are happening. You have Mini RPG of the Week. They're going to have a LAN event next year in May, which is really crazy. Like that's really cool for them and New Lake and all them who have been working that and getting that together. And also, not just in Europe, but also in other regions as well. Turning over to the guy from NA, this is your time because obviously there have been events that have happened in NA at much smaller scale compared to obviously Europe. But there are things that are cooking in NA and things are starting to grow and there's opportunities in NA that people have the opportunity to jump on. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to hop in and kind of explain that. Before you get into even that part, I know I asked you a small introduction, but let's introduce Randomize first. Who is Randomize? Where did he come from? Huh?
It's
What?
Robot Boys.
Oh, Robo Boys.
Not for
Cool.
me.
Yeah, so random. Introduce yourself, your gaming history, how you got into the scene, all that stuff, and then transfer into what your role is currently like with Damascus Gaming and everything, and then we'll go from there.
All right. So basically, where I came from was, I came scientifically from my mother, and I just came out.
Is that how it
Okay.
works?
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. And then a stalk randomly kidnapped me and then brought me back to my mom for the fairy tales. But anywho,
I came from a test tube. At least that's what my parents tell me. So
I thought you said I came from a Tesla. It's like you just popped out the back of a car. Hi.
I mean that works.
I've been imported to Europe, so that's why my name is Import. So anywho, yeah, so I'm Randomize. I'm Josh, from United States, New Jersey specifically. Basically what ended up happening was when I was younger, I stumbled across a tournament called MLG or Major League Gaming when they were hosting it for Halo 2. I was watching it at like 1 a.m. when I was supposed to be sleeping, and that's when I was like, oh, there's competitive gaming. Cool. So right at the end of Halo 2 going into Halo 3, I started actually taking the game seriously. So this was probably back in like 2006, 2007. I started to actually like compete in Halo 3, and I went to like some local online event local LAN events, and I never really got too far in competitive sides. Just unfortunately that I had a lot of other stuff going on in my life, so I never had time to practice like a lot of other players. But I still loved it. I competed all through high school into college. Unfortunately, fell out of competing for multiple reasons. One of them is that Halo 4 is literally a dog shit pile of trash that was burnt and then sent to hell and back, and that's what came out. So yeah, like I was like, all right, I'm done with competing. I got into speed running. I had a lot of fun with that, but then I missed competitive gaming. Found some kind of love in Rocket League, and basically started a league for my fraternity, and that's where I met one of my fraternity brothers, and that league grew so quickly. We had so many brothers that joined, and then we actually had a lot of non-brothers that wanted to be a part of the league. It grew so fast, and my partner and I were like, "Man, why don't we do this like publicly?" So that's how I got involved in the actual business of esports when we started my old organization, RBG Esports. And
Okay.
we were originally going to be
That
like
Nixata was part of for a while, right?
Exotica,
was part of
yes.
it. Yeah.
Exotica,
Yep.
we signed Exotica in 2022 fall, I think, when it was still TMGL, TMCL. We did pick up an Exotica, so we were in a lot of games like Halo, not Call of Duty, Rocket League, CS:GO, which currently our CS:GO roster is all spread out through Evil Geniuses, and a lot of our Rocket League players are on tier 1 teams. So like we knew we had eyes for talent, we knew who to pick up. Just unfortunately, the business of esports is not an easy one. And since my fraternity brother and I, my business partner, we both came from the background of music, so we didn't know what we were really doing. We were just kind of learning on the go. And we survived 4 years. People were blown away that we survived as long as we did with no business backgrounds. And yeah, so like slowly but surely through the years of RBG, I like discovered Trackmania, just like every other American did by virtual. But I actually discovered him from the speedrunning aspect from Awesome Games Done Quick when he was on there during the COVID times of 2020. And yeah, so I joined basically almost a year late. I started playing Trackmania in like 2021. Instantly fell in love with it. Instantly started looking for a Trackmania player and was able to talk to an Exotica. We were able to sign him. We were actually talking to a few different players that are still very well known. Just it didn't work out, but with Exotica it worked out. We picked him up, and then that whole Finanza that happened to him happened, and and I tell Exotica to this day I still backed him up. Whatever, like I get what he did. He was angry, and Nadeo took it personally, and that's what happens. But anywho,
The funny thing about that situation, really quickly, nobody was disagreeing with him.
yeah, no one was, no one. And like and that's how professional and respectful and respect I have for an Exotica is that he left RBG. We didn't
Yeah.
kick him. He left RBG.
He joined
because
Evo.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't
joined
want.
Evo.
He literally did. He didn't
What
want
does
to
it say
put
about
that
us?
on. Yeah, he didn't want to put it on our name. He was just
Yeah.
like RBG Esports is a really big organization. Like he didn't want to put it on our name. So I really have a lot of respect for him. So fast forward a little bit more. RBG closes, but I still compete in Trackmania, and I found out this group called AIR, or America Intermediate Racer. And it's basically where I start to really develop a lot of love for the game, and I wanted to start growing tournaments because during RBG I hosted over 45, maybe 50 tournaments online. I hosted 3 LANs. One of them was huge. Basically sold out the amount of room that we could have and doubled the wait list. So we only were allowed 32 teams. I had about 64 teams in total. So it was really cool. We had a lot. So like I was there. I was in the world of esports. So I take everything I knew and put it here in Trackmania, which is why I get so angry, because I guess you could say it was kind of like Hunted, where like we came from more like higher end esports that were really focused esports from their developers
Right.
to here, and then we're like, yo, like, hello, anyone? What's going on? But
And everybody's like, "You just arrived."
yeah, no, like literally, like we showed up and literally mod checked like real quick, like what's going on here, you guys? And everyone's just like, here, just rub these sticks together and we'll make fire. Like that's what it felt like walking into this. But I fell in love with the scene. I fell in love with everyone that I got to be involved with. I talk smack about people, and now I go on their podcast. It's awesome. So thanks, Import.
Yeah, no problem. See, the thing is, I don't get upset when people criticize me. And the thing is, the whole reason why I reached out to you, I was like, you know what, I could, because the way you were talking, I was like, and I know CD had mentioned you. Speaking of which, CD, it is your birthday today.
Happy
my guy.
birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, CD. Everybody say happy birthday to CD in the chat.
For that.
Like I've been talking to CD about the whole subject thing, and CD in passing had mentioned your name multiple times. I saw the YouTube video and I was like, okay, so like I don't know who you are. But you speak as if you know what you're talking about. And so when I saw that, and I was like, and you were talking about not only the first half, which I 100% agreed with, and I think we could agree with it, that the first half of the video, and then we were talking about my tweets, where obviously they were terribly written, but whatever, like you were going off of what information was given in that tweet without really knowing who I was, and I was like, you know what, let me just introduce myself, let's see, and like it like gets you on the podcast. Maybe I should have got Hunted, I don't know, but for me, Hunted, I feel like doesn't have the insight from that the perspective that I'm looking for compared to you, somebody who's actively working in the community in a much deeper way, I feel. So I reached out to you and talked to you about it. And so, yeah, I didn't, and the thing is, I didn't take it any personally. I was just like, you know what, this is an opportunity to like introduce myself and tell you where I'm coming from. So you understand that I'm not just some like crazy
American.
self-patriot hating American in Europe that just like decided to turn on his country after a couple years in Europe or whatever. But like,
Wait, you didn't clarify that part. I thought you still were that.
oh,
I'm kidding.
right. True. I will say though, 100% that like having lived in a foreign country, you realize how much your own country is in its own fishbowl, culturally and just everything. And so maybe some of that frustration that I have about my own culture comes out in that way. So maybe
Yeah.
that was like some of that bubbling up to the surface. But outside of that, like the thing is like my frustration is also passion for wanting to see NA grow, because like I told you my history and everything, where it's like I've also done things in North America where I built up things, and like
Yeah.
I wanted things to grow, and like Trackmania would be perfect for the US if the culture of NA could adapt to what Trackmania is, but that's forcing a culture to adapt to a game rather than a game adapting to the culture. So
Yeah. Trust me, it blows my mind that Trackmania is still not as big as it should be in Trackmania, because of the fact that like we have NASCAR, we have F1, we have legit sports of just people driving in a left stupid circle for 60 laps and calling that a sport. No offense, NASCAR people. I
I
do
love
enjoy NASCAR.
NASCAR. It's
I do
okay.
enjoy it. Yeah, but like, yeah, like a professional comedian said, it's a great sport to follow when you're hammered. So like, you know, so like in reality, like it blows my mind that it's not bigger in America than it really should be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And now with the console release, which that was one thing that I did realize, I was like, all right, there's more console players in America than there are
Maybe the
PC players.
filthy casuals will start hopping in. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And and that's why like kind of starting to segue it into like the whole title of the Randomize is the last hope of NA. Like I'm not really, obviously we do have CD, we have other people. And my main focus is not actually to build just NA. My focus is NCSA, right?
Right.
And Nats has been a lot more like Nats is also another guy who's been running a lot of tournaments in the
Matt's
South
Alex
American region.
Share, Parker.
Yeah, right. So those are like a lot of names that have been building, like Alex is also a really good example of someone who's building a lot of focused on NA, kind of like Nats is on SA, and then you have people like CD and I who are looking to just like screw the sub regions. Let's just stick us all together, like World Tour did, and let's actually build something out of this. So there are people who are focusing on the sub regions, the very very small regions, and then you're gonna have people like me who are gonna be focusing on the bigger prizes, like the bigger. Like I want to see the best American versus Brazilian, the best Canadian versus the best Colombian. Like to me, that's a lot of fun. We're all on the west side of the earth. We might as well let's have at it, you know. So that's pretty much, kind of going back off of like 100 was saying earlier too, with his tweets last week. One thing that did stick out to me, because I don't want to bring up too much about it, but like one thing that did stick out to me was that he was mentioning about European being more aware of America. And I think the way I interpreted that is that I feel like there's so many tournaments that are so too early for Americans. We have a huge player base over here. So basically, the way I was taking that tweet and how I would tinker it to be more of like how I would tweet it is like, can you adjust your clocks back a little bit? Because a lot of these tournaments that happen in Europe, I do check your times, and it's like it's still happening at like at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but it ends at like 4 or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening, and then you have the rest of the night. So why not tinker it down a few hours and get a bunch of Americans to come in there, inject into your tournaments? Let us get destroyed by you Europeans, because the only way we're going to learn. Unfortunately, we just get destroyed by Lingo. That's all we're dealing with over here, because Carl Jr. doesn't play in any of the community tournaments. So we all deal with Lingo on our side. Like we need more people than just Lingo coming in and making a mockery of us. And then Exotica and Neil are like, all right, we got it. And then, yeah, like that's the problem. We have such a small, I would say, very,
Can
very
I hop
air
in on
quotes.
this?
Yeah, sure.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
hop on this? Because like from an organizer standpoint, and not personally me, but from the issue that runs into, because I actually even living in Europe, I hate the match schedule times and the def times that every tournament has, which is from like I think Randomize, maybe it hopefully is the same for you because I think most Americans are typically the same. Friday and Saturday are the perfect days to do anything for the weekend. And Sunday is like a day you really don't want to touch. That's your rest day. That's your day with your family or whatever. Most Americans, I feel like, don't typically like doing things on Sundays. And Europe, it's the exact opposite, where they don't like doing anything on Friday evening or Saturday, and they like putting everything on Sunday.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday I'm getting drunk. Like Sunday is the only one I'm home.
Yeah.
The
Like, that's-
exact same answer.
I mean, not for me personally, but that's how I view it. Like that's just how the culture in Europe and Germany is. That Friday and Saturday are the days where you just go out and not stay at home. Like even if you're a gamer, those are the days you typically are not at home. Like the rest of the day and Sunday you are at home. Like
Yeah.
usually, like to some degree, like also culturally, in like Sunday is the family day, but that just is just no more. It's not that way. Like most families don't like spend Sundays together anymore.
Yeah. So,
yeah, Sunday is the day
I have a
for us.
point behind this. So typically, because of the culture in Europe, that is why the times are set as such, where it is Sunday. Because obviously Sunday people have to go to work on Monday, so you're going to have your matches at 1 in the afternoon. Starting at 1 in the afternoon, you're going to have them end at like 6 or 7, because the people want to have enough time after the matches on 7 o'clock to sleep and get ready for work on Monday. That is
Gamers.
why
You're supposed to be degenerate. What do you mean?
I agree.
What do you mean? I feel like everyone's been getting so stuck with the whole like, oh, we got to act more professional to entice the sponsors and this and that, blah blah blah. Like, listen, they know we're gamers. We should remember we're gamers. You stay up till 1 a.m. playing a stupid track that you've been stuck on since 7 p.m. to try to get like the author medal. Like, that's who we are. But I get it. I understand it, especially because if you wanted to be in peak mode, like you want to
Peak
be
EU times. Yeah, it's peak EU
Yeah.
times, and it's centered around EU. So that's why NA gets shafted almost every single time for those times.
Yeah, no, and
So-
I understand that, but like my biggest gripe is when there are tournaments that are happening where, like, for example, I'm trying to remember the name. It was like Spammy's tag team tournament, the one he did with Alliance, where they like you have to like switch the player who goes through the checkpoint.
the Chase Cup.
Chase Cup, thank you. I was like tag team. I had to wake up at like 6 in the morning, and I wasn't even playing it. I was just there to support my friends. The tournament started at like 7 a.m. It was just one of those things like, and I'm East Coast. Can you imagine if anyone on the West Coast of
guys
America?
are so dead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I played for example, I played in, and this one's a little bit harder, and I understand it. I played in the event that SRK hosted, the TCS. I don't know.
TSCC.
Yeah. My team, I was up at 5 in the morning. One of our teammates was West Coast. He didn't go to bed. He was still up when the tournament started. So like it's just one of those things where like as an NA person, I can understand. Like now that you explain it that way, it makes a lot of sense. But it's just one of those things like one thing that frustrates me is when I'm in a chat full of people that says we want to help out NA, and it's one of those things where like we need to learn from the Europeans, but if we can't even be a part of your tournaments, we can't learn. I can only learn from Wikipedia. I'm experienced enough that I can look back at a YouTube video, a Twitch VOD, and a Wikipedia and understand how everything was ran and know what to do when I got to run the tournament. But there's other people out there that who literally DM me and go, I have this idea. I want to do this. Can you help me? It's like, so they don't have that research. So if they were able to play in more tournaments, especially European-based tournaments, where you guys do throw on some awesome tournaments, like I watch some of this stuff, and I'm just like, I want to be there, but I can't because I'm sleeping. That's why I'm just saying, like, I feel like,
unfortunately, with this type of things, you have to move yourself to where the people are.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know? Because it happens to me. I'm from Chile. I'm always. I was a year ago. I was always waking up early, trying to get the stuff, trying to watch the matches, everything, because it happened early on my time.
Yeah.
So you have, unfortunately, since we're the minor region, we have to accommodate to the Europe time until we are on the same scale or even bigger.
Yeah.
So
No. I
then
agree.
we can make things equal. Of course,
Yeah.
I also agree that it will be nice if the time could be like a bit more accommodate for the US and Americans
Yeah,
people, so we could at
but you can only
least try
accommodate
to
in one
be there
direction.
because
Yeah.
it happens. There were a shit ton of tournaments that I wanted to watch because I don't play. I play trash. And I was like, it's at what time? Oh, it's at 11 a.m. I'm not gonna watch this shit, because it was way too early for me that I stay until very late. So it happens. It's a really complicated situation right now since we are the minor region. But I believe once the region sets itself to a bigger point, then later you can have like, hey, we need the NA people. Maybe we can make the times more equal so we can have both participating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
No, I
my
agree.
entire point from last week was not so much like, well, I mean, yes, I think you can get help and learn things from EU, but what I meant in that is like, not so much being in the events and everything, but just like talking to people,
No, I
networking.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that. But sometimes I feel like you need to go through it to get the best experience of learning something.
that's
Like
fair.
for me personally, I'm more of a hands-on learner. Like I
Right.
personally have to go through it. Like you can send me guidebooks, you can send me audiobooks, whatever, and I'm still gonna go, oh, what the hell? Like I don't read. I'm
Yeah.
American. We do stupid things over in America. We drink beer and Budweiser. You're done. But like so like and that was slightly racist to my own country. God damn. But like my point is like especially for someone like me, I'm a very hands-on type of person, and sometimes
Yeah.
for me to learn what is the best for the community, I have to be part of the community, and that's why for me it's always kind of annoying when like I want to play in this kind of tournament because it looks really cool. I want to learn about it so I can host my own version
Right.
of it, but that will require me to wake up at 6 in the morning. So that's all the point I was getting at. And it's I mean, in reality, I get the idea. You guys are the dominant region. EU is the dominant region. You run it at your own time. I'm I'm not the one who made the tweet. I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate for the tweet.
Oh, I don't want you to
And
misunderstand anything. I'm not like
no, I
saying
know.
anything otherwise.
I'm just making it clear. And
Oh,
trust me, like
okay.
Hunted is one of my good friends. Like I've known Hunted back in the Rocket League scene. Like
Right.
I've known him. Like it was more like it was an awesome surprise when I saw Hunted for the first time casting a Trackmania event, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
But so like
I
I'm
honestly
just
felt that way about seeing Hunted too. I was like, oh, I'm not the only American and like involved with Trackmania now, like doing casting and like everything. Although I was
right.
casting smaller events, I wasn't casting the what level he was at just yet. But
Mhm.
like it was like, oh, it's nice to see finally somebody from the public trying to be public facing side of Trackmania from NA outside of just me. Because most
Right.
people still to this day confuse me as a German. So
Yeah, sprechen Sie Deutsch, like
yeah, a bit of it.
but yeah, so like and the reality of things is that we just wanted accommodation. Now, turning the gear over to what you were talking about is like, listen, if you want something to happen, you got to do it yourself. You got to put the work into it. And so that's why you have, maniacs like me who go like, man, I just want to play in a tournament, but I can't ever find a tournament I could play in. So, F you guys, I'm going to make my own tournament. That's kind of how I got into going more I do enjoy throwing tournaments. I have no problem about that. But
Hmm.
the reason why I wanted to get more into TOing, especially in Trackmania, is because all these tournaments I want to play in, I can never play in because either one, they're out of my time zone, two, something collides because I'm a very busy guy, or three, I'm just going to be outskilled and I play in the qualifier and get eliminated right there. So like
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm just going to make a tournament that I can play in. I'm going to make maps for it. And I did. I hosted my first one. I hosted Random Roulette. And a lot of people liked it because
Good
it was
name.
unique. Thank you. It was it was unique. I took advantage of the pick and ban system in the comp tool and basically just set it to random 3 times or 3 or 4 times, and those were your maps. So I didn't know what maps were coming up. The players didn't know, and every match that was happening at the same time wasn't the same 3 or 4 maps. Everyone was just like, I better be good at every single map. Like that's all you got. And I was like, cool, this is fun. And people liked it. and I did the point system like the old TMGL way, where it was like you get 1 point if you come in first and nothing if you don't. It's like it's first or you're nothing. And it's the whole roulette thing: spin, bang, win, lose, whatever.
Maybe that is a slight like delineation between like or perhaps because you like you said, you want to play, you want to be able to not just run the events, but you want to be able to play. And maybe that's where, like, as far as from my perspective, that's where it was kind of like way different, because I could care less if I play or not. I'm all
Yeah.
about building community and everything. So that's where my perspective comes from, and that's probably where the clash is more than anything else, is the fact that you want to play, and I 100% respect that. And I think most of the NA players also are probably very much like you as well, where they just want to play and be able to experience and enjoy those things.
Yeah.
And like, maybe it's the fact that you need somebody who is not necessarily like me, but somebody who just doesn't really care about necessarily having to play, but just enjoying the whole idea of community building and just running tournaments just to run tournaments, providing something for somebody without really getting anything back in return. But I think,
Which is mostly me, honestly. I'm like, I would say in reality, especially on the North American side, it's CD and I. Like, there are others.
100%.
There are others. Don't get me wrong. There's like Parker and Alex and everything. But like, one of my biggest complaints that I have right now on the NA side and NCSA in general is that I feel like a lot of people have been dropping some pretty good ideas. There has been, we have like different group chats that allow us to see, like, we've thought about doing NCSA leagues. We've thought about doing SA League, NA League, combine the two later on. We've thought of this cool event, that cool event, this event, that event. All these events are getting thrown out, but no one is going to the next step. And that's where I feel like we as NCSA are struggling. Everyone keeps coming up with cool ideas, but then they're waiting for the next person to then grab the idea and make something of it. I was even approached, and that's kind of how I got even more involved. I got approached with the idea of, hey, you know how to host a tournament, you know how to host a league. I don't want to do that. I just want to build maps, so you do it. I'll build all the maps for you, and we'll have a grand old time. And I went, cool, but
that's
you want
so
me to host-
mean. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's so
but it's
mean.
like, do you want me to build my
Worth a
event,
try.
or do you want me to? Because that's the other thing. They also like,
Yeah,
they came up
right.
to me
They want
saying,
a say in it. They want a say in it. This is it's a huge thing, and I promise you, it is not just.
oh no, trust me, I know.
It's global.
It's global via video game too. Like,
Yeah,
you don't know how many
it's
times I've had that
100%. Where somebody has an idea and they're like, "I have this cool idea, but can you guys do it? But give me the credit." And it's like, no,
No,
if we're gonna do all the work, no.
I mean,
Like,
coming up with a cool
sounds like
idea in
a-
Trackmania is
a
not
concept
easy.
that's so mean though too, because it's like, oh yeah, just make an event, and it's like, do you know how much time planning just even a small online event, like for example, Evo perspective, Dirt Weekly, that's the easiest one I can think of, because that's something I've had a full handed, just planning Dirt Weekly, which is something where you get maps lined up and you play a brand new map. It's almost like Cup of the Day but just Dirt, and you play it once a week, and then everybody gets seasonal points at the end. Even just organizing something as small as that is a lot of time and a lot of organizing, and then trying to get also the marketing for any events as well is a pain in the butt in Trackmania. So if that's that much effort, then somebody's just casually coming up to you and be like, yeah, I have the maps, so I just want you to run this tournament and organize everything for me. You just gave me at least like a month's worth of time that I have to dedicate to using brain power for this event. That's not even really my brainchild. So I'm going to have to, one, find the motivation to do something that wasn't my original idea, and then two, find the willpower and motivation to not strangle you to get death if you try to interfere with me trying to organize this. It's true.
I don't mind it because it's a compliment because they trust you with their brainchild idea. But like, at the same time, it's one of those things where it's a little like, I think you nailed it on the head. The motivation to do it, because it's not my thing. You know, like, it's very hard. Like, you got to sell me on it, just like with anything else. Like for me, like, just give an example to everyone, right? So Import and I, after my video went out, we started discussing. We started talking, and we ended up becoming friends. Like, everything worked out really well. And one of the things that Import did was that he didn't just tell me you're wrong. He explained a lot of things, explained his background, and then
Whoa,
he
don't
even
give out my secrets.
but when he explained his background and everything, and he told me, like, he goes like, I'm sorry if this comes off bragging, but for someone like me who's very open-minded and has been in the esports world for so long, I was just like, that's not bragging, that's a resume. Like, that's actually
Yeah,
freaking
which I
impressive.
appreciated because
Yeah,
nobody told me
no.
that in a long time.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's a
Yeah.
resume. So like, and like, so now someone like Import who has been through my pain and I've been through his pain, and we understand each other's background. If he
100%.
came up to me and said, I have an idea, I need your help, I need you to run this part, I'd be like, I'm in. But if
Yeah.
it's someone who's like, they've only run 1 or 2 small tournaments and maybe their name is big, so that's why they have big names in it, but like they're big for other reasons, not because they ran tournaments. It's kind of hard for me to really want to do something when I had no, like, I want to host a league, but I'm not
Yeah.
trying to host it the way that these people want. A lot of like one that's also the other thing that, and I'll just briefly touch it so that we can either talk about it later or not. But like a lot of people still want solo tournaments, and I completely understand that. I want to make team tournaments because there's a lot less pressure for those who are not as good to play with people that are a little bit better than them and feel more accomplished and make them want to come back to play another tournament. Anywho, that's the thing. I'm being told, hey, can you host this kind of league? Can you do this kind of league solo? And I'm like, CD do that. I
Right.
want to build team leagues. I
Team
want
leagues.
to, yeah, like I like, for example, if you don't mind, I'm going to, I
ahead.
announced that I'm hosting a new event for the NCSA region only. Sorry, all you EU people, don't worry.
Really
I do
mad.
have plans. I have
People
plans.
riot.
I have plans to do it worldwide. It's more
People
of NCS.
riot.
Now, hang on. NCSA are my test dummies. I want to make sure everything works before I go worldwide. Sorry, NCSA. But anywho, like I'm hosting the NCSA Duo Cup, and it's not a new game type. It's been done before. It's been at a LAN, but I wanted basically NCSA to get their hands on that, see if they like it or not. It's a duo cup. It's literally cup mode with 2 people. Your points get added up every round, and then when your team hits finalist, you both have to hit first place at one point, and that's how you win. Like it's a very simple way to do it, but it's just something I wanted to change because now there's not as much pressure to be playing at your top performance every time. You can kind of lean on a friend. They may play well, and then all you have to do is play well one round. Like for someone like me who's still not up at that level of Carl Jr. Like that kind of NCSA talent, it's hard for me to be able to go into a solo tournament and feel confident and play like I want to play. Whereas if I have a buddy, I feel a little bit more relaxed. So that's why, for personally me, I want to focus team events, one-offs, bigger events, leagues, stuff like that. Like that's my focus.
So you can be
So
the
I just
Buckley to Lingo, right?
exactly.
And get
Yeah,
the 1720 score.
yeah, the Chola score, man. That's what I want. I want to just sit there and make content off of your suffering. That's what I'm looking to do.
I mean, it's
Thanks,
quite
Buckley.
interesting. Before Trackmania 2020, team-based tournaments used to be like the biggest ones, and like it's only like the shift to solo events kind of really just happened with TM 2020 mostly. At least all the casual events and all that stuff. And like
Yeah.
usually team events were like the most prestigious one, at least with tech. But now with multi-style, I don't know what exactly the reason is. Maybe one of the reasons is that just people were just fed up with playing team mode.
I don't think
For,
it's
like,
that. I think it's
10
when
years.
you
I
when
don't
you
know.
start off a game focusing on Trek of the Day, Cup of the Day, and you don't roll out your matchmaking until much later into the game's
Yeah, but
life.
even all the old players that converted don't play the team events anymore. Like a lot of them, at least. Like it's not only the new players that don't play team events. It's also like the old players that just
Yeah.
stopped with team.
I think it's also
2020,
just
at least a
because
lot.
organizing teams is kind of really difficult. Like even having picked up Eminem and watching them go through their process of picking teams and everything, it's a lot of work to build a team rather than just being a solo player and just playing solo.
Plus, you got to rely on someone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a like it's not a type of game where as a team you can affect each other mid round. The most you can do is say push and
Well, you
say,
could if you would play Chase, but people sadly didn't really like Chase.
I
still don't
want to play that. It looks amazing. I will.
It is
Listen,
amazing.
Shorty, if you can help me get my hands on the chase thing. I will host another tournament. I will host multiple tournaments, and I will get people to play. You can help
I
me.
think there was a version there was a custom script of Chase that used to run in TM 2020 at some point, I think, but
I thought that
I
was
know who
TM2.
to ask. So, or Marius
Anywho.
knows who to ask
Or
because
maybe
they are still
Evo could
running Chase.
develop one.
There are still Chase tournaments in TM2. So
Okay. Because I know, for example, we did have a team from Air who played in the Chase tournament. The biggest complaint they had was not about the game mode itself; it was just ping because of the ghosts were
yeah.
constantly
That, I mean, it's
bouncing.
kind of the game mode itself that has the ping problem because it's
Yeah.
just how Trackmania is. But yeah, it's. I mean, one of the main things with Chase is playing together made sense. You know, you just,
Yeah.
and also practicing to get like you had to actively practice as a team to get better,
I
which
love
was
that.
just one of the most fun times ever because you don't just brainlessly hope and chase. Like usually, if you train together with people, you just randomly chat and just focus on playing, like hunting a
Yeah.
map or getting good. But
Literally.
you actively try to like drive a PB as a team, which was so much fun. I hate that it never really took off.
I mean, listen, I will make it happen. Get in my hands. That again, it's one of those things we just talked about. I loved watching that game mode. I want to play that game mode, and I will make that a game mode. Okay, Import kind of leaked a little bit last week about
I didn't
an
leak
event that
anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, sure. We got audio and video evidence of everything. But, I have a big event that's going to be happening in 2024. I'm
Oh,
not
that was the
afraid.
thing.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I heard about it because
I'm
I
not
couldn't be
afraid.
on the podcast, but I heard it. Yeah.
I'm not
I got-
afraid to
Let 'em
push
leak.
for another event. I'm not afraid to push for another event in either late 2024 or 2025 with Chase. And I'm telling you, that at a LAN event. Oh,
You know, like when Chase came
just
out
leaked
and I
even
played the
harder.
first cup, like when I played the first cup with Chase, I was like, yeah, this is what I want Trackmania to be. Why can't this be matchmaking this mode, Trackmania Esports this mode? I would have so much fun. It would be amazing. But yeah, sadly, not many people saw it the same way. So it
See,
never
you
happened.
said 2024 and LAN, and my ears perked up. So
I know. I was like, oh, that's why I went. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of LANs happening in 2024. 2024 already is looking to be pretty spicy LAN wise.
2024 is the year.
2024 is surely the year. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I mean, the announcement's coming soon, but I've already announced it on the podcast. XP Evo is going to be happening in 2024. There's some changes that are going to be happening that should be interesting, but obviously I can't talk about those yet. But yeah,
I'm actually going to be the host, guys. That's the change. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
actually,
gotta
no,
leak it.
for real. I want Randomize to come out, so we're gonna see if we can't make it
Crowdfund
happen.
me out there, guys. Come on.
Crowdfund Randomize to come out because that would be cool. If we can have some more NA representation. But yeah, and then maybe I come out to NA in next year for the Dings if you guys need a host or a caster. So
Or
Already
someone.
selling himself.
yeah, if
Yeah,
you need a semi buff looking handsome caster, I hear there's one in the
I
market
got that
is.
already. I'm good.
Okay, fair. You're right. You got me.
Oh, come on, arm wrestle me when you get here.
If
on.
you need
Lucas told me,
like
no,
if you
you're
need a
important.
mapper,
Yeah.
I
So
gotcha. I gotcha.
I never have the issue of people telling me my maps are too easy. I don't know.
Wow. Wow. Coach, man. Talking
Sorry.
about me when I talked about that.
okay. Speaking of maps, can I just talk about the fact that I blew Randomize's mind literally last week when I told him, yeah, just contact mappers directly and they'll
Yes.
map.
Yes,
And
literally.
because like it's so easy to get good mappers. I don't understand the whole like finding mappers for competitions is hard because
It's not.
it's not. You just
It's
have to you
annoying,
just have
but
to
it's not
DM.
hard.
It's annoying, but it's like you just DM the people, and usually they have maps lying around, or they will make a map for your event because most of the time the big mappers that seem untouchable, or if they're in a certain unnamed mapping group that they're
Organization.
untouchable. No, they're 100% willing to
Yeah,
make maps that are not
this
related to their
the
team.
certain mapping group even has a channel where they post map search from like teams or like from competitions that approach them and tell them, hey, here we are looking for maps. Can you put this in your Discord so
Yeah.
people are aware of it?
Yeah, and now you got Doogie and Agraboo looking at your comp for December randomized guy.
Yeah, which is a huge help. I have
Yeah, that was
I have that
literally just
announced
me.
out there. So if anyone wants to throw out a
Listen,
map,
nobody cares about your announcements. You have to DM people. That's what we're saying.
nobody likes me.
No, I mean nobody cares about any announcement. Any
No, I know.
like Racing Rumble Championship Series are even for XP Evo. I kid you not, nobody sent in maps until like literally 2 weeks beforehand. And that was because I had to go DM people and be like, please send in maps or have your group send in maps because we're literally having nobody send in maps. And then they just started coming in finally. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a big org, small org, or whatever. If you need maps, you just have to DM people. And no announcement in TMA Discord or any Discord is going to help because they aren't reading those. If they are, you're lucky, but most of the time they aren't. Mappers are not going to volunteer unless you ask them directly. So.
Hey, Shorty, you want to make a map?
Sure, depends what it is. But yeah, klar, sure. I mean, literally, Ice Crusher contacted me a couple of days ago, and he was like, "Yeah, do you want to like build like a map pack?" I was like, "What do you mean map pack? Multiple maps?" And he was like, "Yeah." So yeah, all of a sudden, from one day to another, instead of building 5 maps, I built 9 maps. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Also, mappers are way more willing to send maps for events that are going to have more eyes on it. So, like a LAN event, for example, is definitely going to be a big
Oh
draw.
yeah, everyone wants that.
Yeah, everybody wants to have their name in that. Which you would going back to XP Evo was actually really hard to get mappers for at the beginning, which is kind
That's
of funny.
unusual, though. That's
It
definitely
was
unusual.
super weird, but I think this next year we're gonna have way too many maps to choose from. But yeah, I think it's
Well, it's
just
better
kind
to
of,
have
it's
a
a couple
bunch to
factors.
choose from
Also-
to have literally the not bad maps.
Also, guys in the chat, I don't always build backwards, okay? I also build other stuff than backwards.
Turtle.
Sometimes he builds maps that are half forwards and then backwards.
Oh,
No,
I will-
out of those 9 maps, only half a map is backwards.
I'm gonna make a backwards tournament. I'm saying it now. Shorty, I will message you for that.
I was like I've been thinking of doing a backwards tournament with Evo for a long time, but
That actually would
then
be the most NA type of event ever, so you should do it.
I mean, why not?
No
I
one
was
likes
thinking
that.
about it lately again because now now technically I have like the ability to look at that again. Like when backwards with Evo started and the server started, I was gone for half a year, so that was a problem, of course.
Oh,
But the
man.
willingness of having an like actual backwards tournament again was there, of course.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap things up here, I think we all can agree that there are things in the pipeline that are very exciting on all facets, not just for Europe but also for NA. And I think there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel, and I think there's hope that we can find on, maybe not on the side of Nadeo, but at least from the community standpoint, there's a lot of things to look forward to. And regardless of what Nadeo does, the community is still going to keep on pushing forward and pumping out contents like we always have been, and if not more, because I think we're finally starting to get to the point where we're properly organizing each other. And I give big props to, I will say, I do give props to Nadeo somewhat for what they tried this year for esports with the TMWT regionals and everything. It was a good try, and it actually started forcing people to start organizing and talking more with each other. And less, it kind of brought a lot of segmented areas together. So I definitely do think Nadeo does deserve some props on that.
And I hope they keep going that way.
And I hope they keep going that way.
Don't just go, okay, that was fun, turn.
If they get rid of the format that they just went with this last year and don't just like improve on it, or they get rid of it completely,
I'm done with it.
I'm going to lose my mind is what's going to happen. I'm going to lose everything. I will flip the table.
I'm gonna build my own
everything.
game.
We will talk about what we started. Randomize, Lime, Shorty. We're gonna make our own game.
Let's do it.
Man,
I'm so down.
We've been talking about this for like 10 years already in random Discord chats. Like every couple of months, like some people are like, yeah, man, can't we just like win in Lotto and just buy an idea or just do the same game again with someone else, please?
Yeah.
So many times.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of things to look forward to. I don't think it's all doom and gloom, and we like to complain a lot, but obviously we have a lot of things to look forward to as well. And I do think that genuinely there are people in Nadeo who actually do care, and they do care
Yeah,
about the opinions.
I mean, I
and
think
there's
all of them care. Like
Yeah.
some of them just view the game differently than us.
Yeah, true. I agree. And so here's cool things. I'm super excited for what's happening on your side of the pond, Randomize. I'm looking forward to what's going to be happening in 2024. You have no idea. So yeah, again, a caster, host, anything like I'm down. Or if you need help, with organizing the tournament, I'm also really good with that too. So like, hey, like I'm super down to provide any resources for that, and Evo is happy to also help with
Which
that
you
as well.
have already, and I just want to make that very clear. Thank you very much. Literally, since day one of our conversations, you've already helped me way more than you think you did. So just for an example, take me as an example. NA folks, when last week they talked about literally just asking for help, just me asking import, I think probably like 5 different questions. I have already been able to push this tournament that I'm having in December quickly. I already have mappers coming in, and I already have about 3 or 4 ideas that are going to help this said thing that I didn't leak at all, or import didn't leak at all. That will definitely help with how I'll be able to approach running the non-leaked thing next year.
100%.
So like it's very vital to like please reach out to people, please ask questions, but don't ask for us to come in and run your tournament. Ask us questions to help run your
Yeah.
tournament, to get the experience, and then we'll be happy to help you moving forward.
Also, to add on to that,
just
I don't
wanna
know
add-
what
hey,
I feel like some people think that people are unapproachable for whatever reason. It doesn't
don't
matter
know.
if you are public facing or not public facing or whatever, or you're popular in Trackmania. What is popular in Trackmania? Like, reach out to the person and just ask them questions. Trackmania community is so different than any other esports community, and I've said this so many times. People have said this so many times. People from the outside are like amazed by what Trackmania as a community is and how we interact with each other. Just ask a person. We're gonna help each other. We want to help each other. We meme, we chat, we banter, and we say yuck things to each other all the time. But that's part of being a community. Like, but freaking just ask people questions. Like, don't sit there and just be like, I can't do anything. And then it's like, well, did you reach out to this person or did you talk to somebody? And they're like, no. It's like, well, did you really do anything then? It's like, no. It's like, okay then. Why are we here? So yeah, there's a lot of things that are exciting, and I'm super happy for it. But anybody have any last thoughts?
yeah, I'm gonna throw you a curveball.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna do a nice segment called Newcomer versus Oldtimer.
Did you prepare questions?
Yes.
Oh god, oh god.
Oh, he remembered this. Okay. Who's doing
Oh.
it? Who's doing it?
Okay. It's Aaron and Randomize.
Oh gosh.
Oh god, what am I doing?
Oh, that's good.
We're basically
So-
playing debate. Debate school.
You're
stuff.
debating.
We're speech and
Oh.
debates.
Rant mode, let's go.
Yep.
Okay, to explain
Not
the
ranting.
concept to those that are not familiar, you each get a topic that you need to defend with all you have. You get 2 minutes for your explanation each. I decide whose explanation was better and award points based on that.
Why you decide?
Or, well,
let-
Shorty
let-
and Lime can decide, I guess.
Yeah, let
Oh,
Shorty
thank
and Lime.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
let Shorty and Lime
Yeah,
decide. Okay.
and then if Shorty and Lime are tied, then you be the
Okay, we can
the
do
decider.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Heartbreaker,
yes.
yeah.
That's better. Chat can also participate, but
Yeah, chat can also participate. We'll do Snippin
Exactly.
or Atomic mods. Make gambas every single time Chris asks a question on who's right. Like just
Finally,
put
I don't have to do anything and just listen.
Okay,
Oh god,
It's so
it's
stressful.
gonna go so bad for me.
so
Yeah.
It cannot be worse than I, okay?
All right.
I did really bad.
all right.
I actually suck at debate, so let's
The
go.
first topic
Same.
is gonna be Nadeo needs to focus more on the casual side of the Trackmania
Gosh,
community
whoever
or
gets this
the
side is fine.
competitive side of Trackmania community.
Oh,
And
which side am I on? Which
I'm
side am
gonna
I
throw
on?
you
Yeah, you're
an even bigger curveball. Aaron gets to defend the casual side, while Randomize gets to defend the competitive players.
It's
You know,
gonna
I
be so
hate
good.
casuals so much.
yeah,
man.
GG.
I really thought I was gonna get the casual side. I really thought I did.
Okay.
All right. Let's start with Aaron because he's the old timer. Okay, Aaron,
Wait, randomize. How old are you?
I don't know.
you've played Trackmania for longer, Aaron.
Yeah,
That's
but
why you're
shouldn't
the
we
old
let
Yeah,
timer.
like the
We're
shouldn't
probably very similar in age. That's why I'm asking. Because
shouldn't the hard
I look younger than what I actually am.
Are you at least in your 30s?
Yes,
Okay,
Chris, but
31.
I think
I'm 30.
the harder topic should be last probably.
I'm almost. I turned 31 in January, so
The harder topic should be last.
fucking old.
Okay.
Yeah, because like
Yeah,
you have a
listen,
big
line.
advantage if
I
you go
heard that.
last, and import already has the harder side. So
I got this. Actually, I actually think I can spin this really well.
Okay.
Okay.
Your 2 minutes start now.
So, hi, my name's Import. I also am an organizer for Evo. And, you know, honestly, I think Nadeo should focus on casuals more because I think Evo in general has shown a great success in doing so for the casual side, providing dedicated servers, also content regarding mapping and just general fun creative projects that engage the community. And I think that that is a great map and a good roadmap for Nadeo to also increase that as well. And I do think they are doing relative things that can increase that, such as fun game modes, such as Royal and whatnot. Maybe matchmaking, keeping matchmaking 3v3 so that the casuals, you know, are able to stay together and not feel so pressured to have to carry in a 2v2 situation. As far as I don't really believe that at all. um, uh, I do think though that like there's a lot of things that they can weaponize casuals for and be able to get them more involved in, such as creative things, such as art projects and whatnot. You would think that a card game wouldn't have a creative avenue to it, but it's clear that there is. I definitely think coming up in a project that Evo is going to be releasing in sometime soon in the winter time, holiday season, I think there's a lot of things that you can see where people have amazing creations, not just from a physical game driving standpoint, but also from a very artistic, sculptural standpoint as well. So I definitely think Nadeo is able to weaponize that and use that in the future and provide more opportunities for their community and just different art projects, video projects, content creation as far as that is concerned. So, yeah.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
okay.
We take those.
I tried.
You tried.
I sidetracked myself with a 3v3 matchmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even the faces, you're like,
totally.
I was like, oh no, he's lost. He's about to switch into comp mode real fast.
All right. And randomize. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure. Let's do
Okay.
this.
Your 2 minutes are starting now.
Nadeo, listen to me right here, right now, right? Competition, competitive players is the way to go. You want to know why? Look at Riot. Look how big their esports is, right? You see them having all these players all over the world competing in the game, and guess who shows up to those competitions? The casuals. The casuals show up, they watch, they cheer, they get excited. So the comp players are the most important thing in the world. You want to know why? Because it's marketing. Marketing will do the trick for you. It'll get those casuals to come in and play the Royale, and they'll play your other things. You know why? Because those casuals also like to compete. You know why they also like to compete? Because it strokes their ego. I have a better rank than everyone else, even though I'm a casual player. I am now competitive. I could take on those pros. That's what these casuals do. You see it in Rocket League? These platinums think they could take on GCs. You know why? Because the competition side, the competition is what gets them going. All right, so you got to focus on the competition side. You got to focus on the esports side, grow it, because the casuals just come along. They just follow. Any pro that does anything, the casuals will follow along. All right. Competition is the way to go. Esports is the way to go. You want a bigger game, you're going to make sure that the esports orgs can sell their skins so that we can see the casuals hold on to those skins and make look pretty in their ITB cars. Okay. Like, because that's who's really going to be wearing the cars. The pros are getting paid to wear it. The casuals will pay you. They will pay you to put that car on. So that's what you're doing. Your focus on esports is the way to go. I can't drop the mic. It's on the
a little
arm.
bit expensive, probably.
It counts. It counts.
Holy crap!
Okay.
And he brought in the microtransactions too.
Yeah.
All right, Lime.
Go.
Ladies first. What is your judgment? Who wins here?
I do it randomize, literally summarize everything.
Just give it
He
to him.
fucked up info with the dragging the casuals into the esports scene, so it's hard to defend the casuals. The casuals don't do shit. And then, come on, it's not
Dirty
the same.
casuals.
I am a casual. I am a casual right now, but
I mean,
we don't do shit.
yeah.
Shorty.
So okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Import was in a losing position from the start, kind of. Like, the only thing I give to Import is, like, mentioning Royal. That was a good one, but the rest was just, yeah.
I was just throwing crap in the wind. Hey, I think that listen, I do think that Nadeo could take a page from Evo in road mapping on how they
Oh,
can
yeah,
weaponize
yeah, yeah.
casuals. I think that's true. However, competitive is way more important.
I mean, also, it's a little bit unfair, especially because we talked about the microtransaction earlier, so it's already fresh in there. But that's just,
I want
Yeah,
to have my ITV card, you know.
yeah, same.
The pros get paid to play with that car. You, the dirty casuals pay you to be in
Yeah,
that
but
car.
that's a really good take, though.
It's true though. It's
Like, that's the
true.
thing.
I just made it sound like a car dealer from.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right.
Is there
Sorry, I
another
just
one?
That is
got into that one.
randomized winning the first round. Yes, I have more
Ding, ding, ding,
questions.
ding.
Okay.
Oh, God.
All right. The next topic is gonna be. Hold on, I lost my train of thoughts.
3v3, what?
Okay. Here's a fun one.
Oh boy.
More or less ice in mixed competitive maps?
Okay.
Okay. Judging by Randomize's face, he gets to defend ice, and Aaron has to argue against ice.
Okay, easy.
Yeah, and since Aaron lost the first round, he gets to go second this time.
Oh, at least I don't have to defend ice. Holy shit.
I got
No
this.
chance.
I got this.
Okay,
Good luck.
Randomize is ready, so go.
All right, listen to Deo.
Oh gosh.
Ice is still a very important thing. Okay, let's talk about it. When we talk about the different competitions out there, there are pure ice, there's pure tech, there's full speed, there's dirt, there's all these things, right? But then when we think of the word mixed means a mix of it all. Everything is in there, you know? It's not like when you're having the Skittles, you open a bag of Skittles, you can choose to just pull out all the reds and just eat the reds. You could choose to just pull out all the greens and eat the greens, or you could be someone who's normal and actually eat all the Skittles, right? Same thing with mixed competitions. Ice is still a platform in the game. It should be a platform to be used. The reason why people don't like ice is because it's new, it's different, and it's difficult to learn. It's not something that's going to hold your hand. It's actually going to show the true nature of a competitive player against someone who just wants to sit there and play on tag all day and just press left and press right and hit the brake and then neo slide, then hit brake and then left, then right. That's all tech is. Ice shows you what the true skill of every player can actually pull off. That you can drive on every surface as well as driving on ice and then handle every surface again with icy wheels, because in reality, that's a true mix. You are mixing every single type you can inside a map, and you are going to show that You know how to handle Trackmania at its hardest and at its easiest moments. That's why ice should be in mixed tournaments.
Okay.
Bro, I
Break your mic, bro.
It's not supposed to come out like that, but it does.
Do we even give Aaron a chance to defend himself?
100%.
Yes, we
okay.
have to.
Murder this.
All right.
Please murder it. I want you to murder it.
All right.
Listen,
You got your
Listen.
2 minutes starting now.
listen. What you said is cute and all, but I'm gonna let you finish. But let me tell you how it's really, really down in the real competitive world. The people who actually care about competitive integrity. First off, ice as a surface has had multiple changes to its mechanics, so that tells you how awful the surface is in general compared to the rest of the surfaces, and how it is incapable of being properly balanced, let alone pleasing the actual people who drive ice in the first place. Now, add that to a very it's a decent sized community, sure, but like it's a very sectored part of the community that actually enjoy ice and are sadistic enough to enjoy ice, and then you try to throw that into a mixed map, and I agree it should be included as is part of a mixed surface. But when ice alone as a surface in any type of mixed map actually controls the entirety of how the flow of a map is going to be handled, it is kind of insane. The fact that ice section can clearly determine your entire run or how you're going to play the mixed competitive section is going to be insane. So there's a lot of flashback according to Vodafone canceling import. Your robo thing, I want my time back. What is
I
this?
can hear you. Just continue.
The chat can't hear me. The people watching, they say they got it. The sound is dog because Chris's internet is. I'm losing time literally because of Chris's internet. Really, man.
I'm not dropping frames. Continue.
All right, so it's not you're dropping frames. It's my voice. But
You're
yeah,
coming
whatever.
across clear on my end.
Okay.
You get another minute.
Thank you. The icers are sabotaging. So no, like I was saying, the issue with ice is the fact that it just determines too much how your run is going to end up in mixed. On top of that, if it's too much ice, it's going to be even more exponentially worse versus little ice. Let's also add to the fact that ice is only playable in Cam 1. Anybody who plays in another Cam is just insanely mudded. Some people can play in Cam 2 or whatever, but they're psychos. Let's just they're the outlier, and they're typically not a typically good ice player. Most ice players and those who play ice or have to drive ice have to play in Cam 1. So the fact that you already force a player into a certain specific cam, let alone forcing cam switches in between matches, which can be really jarring, maybe skill issue, sure, whatever, is a pain in the butt and also disrupts from the flow and the focus of a player having to be forced to make such changes. So are you really trying to tell me that ice should have there should be more ice in mixed maps compared to less? I think it should be less. I think some ice is fine.
Yeah, your time's over.
Whatever. I had to restate my thing because of freaking time. Really mad.
God, I wish we had rebuttals because I have so many
Yeah.
rebuttals against what you said. Holy shit.
I don't believe actually half of the stuff I said, so I just want to
Okay,
make that
Shorty, as
Yeah, no, I know.
as such a huge ice lover, you get to rule first.
Yeah, this is so tough actually because, like, the thing is, Import is the only one of both of them that actually mentioned the actuality of having the style and how it how it changes the flow of maps. He's the only one that mentioned that. But the other things he mentioned, I just don't agree with. So
I don't agree with them either.
Hey, I mentioned the skill of ice.
I'll go with Randomize actually. Barely. I really hate myself to do this, but I mean, if Import would have the position of keeping the same amount of ice we have right now, I would say Import. But since Import has the position of less ice,
Yeah.
I say Randomize.
Lime, what is your opinion?
I bought less ice
Oh.
because there's one thing that is true is that when you have Gecko no, it's not this. Gecko was playing one map that basically, if you didn't have the ice light completely correctly, you were fucked. and that can change the whole transition of what you're doing. And in a competition, you cannot let that slip. If it's not an identity where you can, like, of course you can have one part of the map that can change the whole things, you know. But as a like casual people that are playing competition just for fun, you have a nice part and then you're like, okay, I'm fucked. Even if you're trying to learn, it takes forever. It's a shit kind of stuff. I bought for ice maps that are good, but on mix, I don't know, maybe later. So I bought for less.
Well then, Chris, decider.
Chris is the decider. Oh,
I'm gonna
he's
give
been saying
everybody a
worse.
half point here.
What?
Wow.
Boo!
Really?
Controversial? I want a decision.
I want the point. I almost threw the mic out the window.
Okay.
Import's been keeping his mic still. Come on.
The thing is,
We can let people decide. You know,
okay.
the both of the chat.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
Gamma.
I'm gonna
Chat's
ex-
gonna.
I'm gonna
Yeah, let's
explain
make
my
a gum.
decision really quick. Why I can't decide, and then we can have chat vote. Actually, Atomic or Snip and just make it. Actually, I might just do a prediction
do
really
a
quick.
poll.
Why I type this? Or why I say this? Basically, my idea is the following. Yes, more ice would be good, but I agree with Aaron that it's very hard to integrate ice properly. The thing is, I also agree that it's mostly just a skill issue, so people should just, deal with it.
If I have to deal with
Yeah,
tech,
but-
you have to deal with ice. I hate tech.
Yeah, I understood that, so you
That's a
didn't make it.
prediction.
You didn't make the decision easy for me. Nah, I mean, skill issue is always a little bit mean, considering that objectively speaking, ice is less. What is the word? Less forgiving. Like, it doesn't matter what your skill is. If one surface is less forgiving than the other, the skill doesn't matter, and it's just certain aspects of certain physics and certain things. You know, like it's just how it is. Like, one ice turn just decides more than one tech turn. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not skill issue.
Right, chat.
And
You have
depending
15
how you include
seconds.
it in maps.
Go vote.
Like, you can definitely include it very well in comp maps, but it's not easy.
You did a channel prediction, by the way. Not a poll.
I meant to do a poll.
I did a
but...
poll. I did
A
a poll
poll.
after you.
Okay.
And right, it was almost time for a second, but randomized.
Yeah, it was almost.
It was like 6 to
Soon this.
7. 6.
And to be
6
fair,
to
I
9.
have not. Nice. I have not voted. You could see it on my chat. Like, yeah. See, I didn't.
All right.
I didn't touch the vote.
Randomized 1. More ice. Boo.
No. We can.
I'm with
keep the
Shorty. I'm
amount
with
of ice,
you. I
okay?
think I think keeping the same amount of ice is what should happen. I don't think
Yeah.
more ice is a good idea, just because it would.
I mean,
it
no-
would literally change the entirety of how the map would be approached.
I mean, let's be honest. It doesn't really matter what we think. In the end, what matters is what the majority wants, and the majority is totally fine with how much ice we have right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Honestly, I always think the amount of ice that are in comp maps now are actually relatively good.
Yeah.
Not too much, not too little.
I think if you do like one ice section is fine. I think 2 ice sections is pushing it, and then if you do anything more than 2, then you're just
2 is already pushing it. Like,
Yeah.
if you want 2 ice sections, you better make sure those 2 ice sections are the best ice sections I've ever played.
Or like something like with the evil maps, where one of the endings was a bobsled, like that.
Right.
Okay,
that's
if
like,
you.
that's cool.
I mean, I thought we only talk about platform ice because bobsleigh for me isn't ice.
Yeah,
Like, if we talk
bobsleigh is
about ice.
we
ice
don't
is
consider
just
bobsleigh really
platform.
ice in our side.
Yeah.
Cause,
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, technically, in reality, it's still ice.
yeah, true.
Yeah, but
Because you can
So
say
they're
like
very different.
The dirts are same. or
Yeah,
different,
it's
you
just
know?
such it's a very different gameplay, so that's why. So that's why most don't consider Bob ice, because it's just a different type of gameplay.
I mean,
Yeah, but if we go back to the
we
dirty
were-
casual conversation,
no,
you
no,
could
no.
watch
But wait,
Casual Tribe on it.
we were talking. We weren't talking about services. We were talking about styles, and
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
sense, ice and Bob are different styles.
Yeah, no, they're
Yeah.
completely different styles. Yeah, 100%.
That's like saying tech and sausage are the same. Really mad.
I mean, they are similar. It's both drifting, but
No, one can toss you off the road at any moment.
Yep.
yeah, but you can also build
Chris,
sausage
do you have one more, or is that it?
more friendly
Well,
on it.
since Randomize won both rounds, no.
Okay, wow, you won. You won the 2 out of 3. GG.
Oh,
GG.
GG.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. We've hit the 2-hour mark, and I'm tired, and I want to have. I'm sure you want to enjoy the rest of your day, Randomize. And
Let's give Randomize a chance to do some shoutouts if he wants to.
oh yeah. Hit us with it. What's happening?
Just shout outs to everyone over in NCSA. Big shout outs to to CD, Parker, Alex, Nats, and the rest of the NCSA crew. And thank you everyone for listening to my rants and dealing with my rants. If you haven't heard my rants and you want to, you can check me out on YouTube. Just type in randomized TM space Trackmania in the search bar because my stupid link never works. Or just follow me on Twitter and Twitch and randomize. It's in the title. Just click the name and it's my Twitch and all my info is there. So if you want to hear more of my rants and hear more of my stuff, like complaining about people and not doing anything about it because apparently NCSA doesn't do anything about it, feel free to come along. And also a big shout out to Evo, to you guys for having me here. Really do appreciate it. It was actually quite fun. I was a little nervous coming on here. I was expecting Shorty to just ream me for my 20-minute rants on YouTube.
No,
but
I really meant it when I said that last time that watching it was painful, but I can understand where that was coming from. So I don't hold that against you or anything.
I mean, yeah. Plus, it doesn't help that it was like on a live stream. So, and my editor doesn't
exactly. Yeah.
edit out when I repeat for live viewers. So I get that. Yeah, no, I definitely do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was a lot of fun. I genuinely enjoyed it. I try to catch your shows, but unfortunately, I'm usually at work. But I do listen
And
to
that
it.
guy complaining about EU time zones again with the shows, and first
Yeah,
it was
if
tournaments
just
and now it's
dialed it back
shows.
a little bit. Yeah, just bring it back
It's a
a couple
podcast.
hours.
You can listen to it anytime you want.
Yeah,
You don't have to.
Exactly.
Definitely check it out. I listen to it on Spotify all the time. So
And on you, and you can watch it on YouTube too. So we always put it all on YouTube.
podcasts
So,
on YouTube.
I know,
Okay.
right? Who
I don't
cares?
want to look at your face. I want to just hear it.
Yeah.
That's you want to hear my face? Nice.
I hear you. I meant you. Shut up. I realized what I said as I said it. I tried to play it off.
So I'm actually very happy that Randomize, you were super willing to come on the podcast and like you made time for this, so I really appreciate it and taking time. And to Randomize's boss for allowing you to come on the podcast. Okay, I will shut up. But yeah, no, it's been enjoyable, and I've enjoyed, despite what some might think it might have been stressful, but like honestly I enjoyed this last week of kind of like banter and like debate and everything, because I think it is important. If you want things to happen and you want things to change, you definitely need to talk about it. And whether it was me or not me or whatever, I definitely think that forcing a discussion or making a discussion and getting eyes to that discussion is very important. So I enjoyed this last week. Maybe not so much the people who took things a little bit too seriously and got really personal, but outside of that, it was a really good learning week to finally see people come out from the shadows and also be like, hey, I'm here. It's like, okay, great, because nobody knew. So it was good to like give a spotlight to others who maybe necessarily haven't been heard or seen before. So, and that's kind of the whole point in general. So yeah, thank you so much, Randomize, for joining us and everything. Shorty and Line, as always, my best buddies. It's always fun to do chatting things.
Yeah, also thanks from my side to Randomize.
Ranting.
Yep.
Ranting.
Ranting.
Yeah,
hey,
it's
it was nice to have somebody that I feel like fits my type of energy on the podcast for once.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean, to me, I said in the chat, we need another American to shut up import, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
mean,
he
part of my energy just comes from like my music background because I was a music major, so I'm very used to being on stage overacting and you know, I can grab onto people's energy and just start shooting it back at people. So
No,
if
same, but
I
I'll
went a
just
little
show you
insane, I'm
laziness.
sorry.
You didn't. No. It was
Okay.
it was perfectly fine. I think we're actually relatively tame here. So yeah, no, it was perfectly fine. Yeah. I think that's it, guys. I think we're gonna call it an evening, and I assume we'll be back next week. Probably not. Lime.
I probably I don't know. I had to talk with
We'll
the
see.
idiot that
We'll see.
rearranges my stuff.
We might take a week off next week. We'll see.
I'm
We'll let you
sorry.
guys know. It'll be twatterdings, you know. Just check out the Twitter, and we'll tell you whether or not it's gonna happen or not. But yeah, that is it for the rest of us being here. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, exciting things coming up in 2024. We'll announce more stuff regarding XP EVO in 2024 eventually, and maybe Randomizes events soon, TM, next month. So we'll see. We'll see you guys around. Have a good evening. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Wow, get out of here.